So which are the ships you should probably never use? Before I start, I just want to say that everyone has their own opinion here, and these are just some of which I might consider to be relatively underwhelming or not that useful in their roles. Also, I will exclude everything without a quantum drive. So let's start. First up, 4 ships from the Origin series, the 100i, 125a, 135c, and 85x. I know there are some who love these ships, but I don't really see the value in them. They do have weapons and even maneuverability alongside with reasonable speed, but they just lack in the health department. Compared to most other same size ship, their health is pretty much cut in half, perhaps even more. Sure, of course, they are not directly combat focused as they can be light freight or exploration or just luxury touring. I think they are actually one of the lightest ships in the game, and I will give them this much. Perhaps you will store one at your capital ship's hangar or at the bay of a pocket carrier. Thus you can use it to traverse planets or planet systems. But flying it alone and separate doesn't really make sense. Yeah, sure, you can use it just to traverse, to do light freight missions or clear bunkers. But there are other better options than these. Many starters offer same luxuries and can actually be more accommodating when it comes to combat. Up next is the Drake Herald. Well, who didn't see this one coming? At the moment, it's just a flying rocket. Its only use is purely transport, at least for the time being. I would like the data running to take effect and make this ship a bit more useful in the future, but that would be the only real value in it, the only real value it would have. Yes, it has got some weapons and some missiles, but it's not that heavily focused for combat gameplay, and it's really got that big engine going for it. That in mind, it can outrun many of the other ships, if not all. But in that case, I would already prefer an interceptor, perhaps having some living comforts and maybe even better weapons. Possibly better maneuverability and equally a relatively high speed. For next, I have to bring out the Freelancer series. There is one really good variant in there, and that is the Freelancer Max. But why would you choose any of the other variants? It is sadly very outdated and was created with a different idea in mind. This medium or these days even small size transport with a maximum of 4 crew, plus the gunner. The main concerns are the rear turret position being blocked off by the docking collar, the airlock cargo room standing separate and thus being hard to manage or even store bigger items in there, and the storage area at the back which can block off the rear access and access to the turret. It can serve you okay, but there are so many better options compared to ships from this family. There are other producers which make ships like the Zeus Mark II or the Spirit series, so why would you pick this? I just think it is in need of an update and perhaps it could be great again. But when it comes to cargo, the Freelancer Max is still pretty competitive from this family, and that's the only good one. Next, I have picked a specific group of ships. These are most of the alien fighters, ships like Cartual, the Talon Shrieker, Esperia Glaive. Since half of the alien fighters are pretty large, it makes sense to avoid them. While many of them do have good firepower or special weapons unique to this specific ship, which you cannot buy anywhere else, I would not really focus on those weapons and the cool style of alien ships. At the same time, there are alien ships which I consider to be pretty good or perform decently well, like the Banu Defender or Esperia Blade. Any of the alien ships can perform rather well in PvE. But most of them are pretty big targets with standing out parts. And to be fair, the only thing that really sells these ships is the styling, the features, the cool animations it does. Perhaps even special weapons. So why wouldn't you pick something from the standard fighters, like the Arrow or the Gladius? Perhaps getting even a slightly better ship. I did like alien ships, well I kinda still do, but once you get over it, well you gotta focus on what's your intended game role. As a last thing or a last ship, I need to note that it is rather common to find less useful variants of pretty good ships. These might not be useless, but why would you need that specific type of the same ship? The best example I could bring is the Drake Cutlass Steel. I don't really need it, neither do you, as the Drake Cutlass Black would serve you pretty much the same way. Yes, the Drake Cutlass Steel variant has more health, has drop seats, even extra mounted guns and turrets, but it loses the space for small vehicle or even vehicles. Plus it might be a pretty easy target if there are around 20 soldiers on board. In any case, I would like to separate all my troops so at least some of them could make it to the destination. So these were the ships and types of ships I avoid for the time being. Most of them are fine for PvE, but we have also so many good alternatives and perhaps even better options, so why limit yourself? I mean, if you truly like it, go for it, who am I to stand in your way? Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.